My name is Neil Mackenzie. I am one of the Directors of Studies in charge of the UCAS process. I'm also head of the International Foundation Programme and I am a teacher of economics.
My name is David Shah. Like Neil, I'm a Director of Studies with the responsibility for oversight of how UCAS is managed within Abbey College, Cambridge. In addition, I'm Head of Humanities, a teacher of history and of English.
There are approximately, in the UK, 131 universities plus a couple of private ones. In terms of their groupings, the ones that people have typically heard about are the Russell Group, which comprises of 24 universities, and they are generally, produce 2/3 of the research that comes out of UK universities. You've got the G5, which consists of Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, London School of Economics and UCL, and then of course you've got Oxbridge, which is Oxford and Cambridge. There is certainly an overlap between these various groups, and indeed there are top universities that are not members of any of these groups, and two universities spring to mind, St Andrews and Bath.
In considering the differences between the universities, it's very important from the outset to narrow ours and our students' focus to the differences between faculties within the universities and the courses themselves, because the universities will deliver different courses, will have different strengths, and it's very important that the students from the outset don't get blinded by the university as a whole, but actually see the detail of the course that they could eventually be doing.
The entry requirements are basically level 3, which is the standard way is A levels, but a lot of universities also accept foundation programs, international foundation programs, including obviously Abbey College, Cambridge's international foundation program. There may also be GCSE requirements or GCSE equivalent requirements, for example for maths or for English, but that will vary from course to course.
Beyond these headline requirements, the universities will, certainly for our students, our typical students, will be looking to see if they meet their English language entry criteria as well. Now, many students will come in already having done GCSEs or IGCSEs in English first or second language. However, for the vast majority, IELTS is the standard testing system that's used. Beyond the English language testing systems, there may also be requirements specific to the university. So clearly with Cambridge, the SAQ comes to mind, but many courses as well at given universities will demand additional testing. Most of them for vocational courses, so you've got LNAT for law applicants, BMAT or UCAT for medicine, but then also faculty specific again for tests in maths, computer science, engineering, etc. And finally, some universities, or again the specific faculties, will ask the students to produce additional personal statements, simply because these will be directed to that given university, as opposed to the UCAS personal statement, which has to be more about the subject, the student, and not directed to any one of the 5 universities.
The way to apply to a UK university is through UCAS, which stands for University College Admissions Service, and the way that works is that students would fill in all their personal details, they would put in their education, their choices. They have up to 5 universities and 5 courses which they can apply for, and as part of the UCAS system they also need to write a personal statement which is 4,000 characters, and in that personal statement they are essentially, shall we say, selling themselves as to why they want to study a particular course and what has driven them, what has led them to want to study that course. In addition, the college will also write a reference which supports the student's application, and once all those various elements have been done, that is then sent off to UCAS. The 2 main deadlines, external deadlines anyway, are the 15th of October for Oxbridge and medicine, and then the final deadline is the 15th of January for all other universities, although we always like to get as much as possible done before the Christmas break.
Well, within the various parts of the UCAS process and application that's been outlined just now, it's important to know who plays what role, and you have within Abbey College a pre-degree diploma teacher who, as said previously, from year 12 is already giving you specialist input and also giving you feedback on the subject-specific content that you might have in a personal statement, as well as advising on the merits of the relative merits of different universities and different courses. The form tutor has the chief responsibility for a given student's completion of the application, and will also be writing the reference. This will be overseen by the housemaster. So again, we've got various levels of quality checking, both in terms of making the right choices, but also maximising the potential of the application. Above this, in a sense, is mine and Neil's role as the directors of studies, because we are overseeing the whole process, we are assisting wherever possible, we are stepping in where specialist knowledge is required or contact with the universities, but ultimately our key role is being that last level of quality assurance in meeting the students, working through, talking through their choices. Do they make sense? Is there a sensible assurance there? Are they aware of the English language requirements, for example? And this will be the final step before sending the application, after we've also similarly reviewed the tutor's reference to really make sure that it's not just the best possible, but to also make sure it complements all the students' parts of the application. Further down the line, once the students do receive replies and offers from the universities, it's equally critical that they have us to talk to, and in fact we insist they talk to us to make their final firm and insurance choices, to really make sure that their aspirational goal has got a degree of realism to it, tied to their academic process, how they're doing in terms of English requirements, but also to make sure there's a sensible insurance choice there.
I'd also like to add to what David said, is that when students are making their decision on their firm and their insurance choices, we do really encourage the students to actually visit the universities, because ultimately they're going to be there for at least 3 years if it's an English university, 4 if it's Scottish, but they need to be happy that they're going to be there for that period of time. In addition, to help inform students, we also invite quite a few universities to come and give talks here at Abbey College, Cambridge.